The ultimate accident. Whether we realize it or not, our creativity and our creative imagination are our most valuable assets and underlies all that we do and all that we are. The Releasing Your Unlimited Creativity understanding is directed at stretching our perceptions about the nature of reality to open the door to empower our creativity and our creative imagination to access the depth and breadth of our inherent creative ability and creative power. Background. For lack of a better description, the ultimate accident is an event, or maybe better said, a moment in time where one realizes creation is not what they thought it was. The result of this moment is a profound inner awareness arises and their life goes in an unexpected direction. It is like being in a completely dark field with a clear night sky with all the stars, not knowing which way to go. Then, in a flash of lightning, and in that moment, there is a clarity to see a path and what direction to go. The path is still dark, but there's an inner knowing as to which way to go, and one can look up and now know what star needs to be followed in the darkness. As discussed in the Releasing Your Unlimited Creativity recording, the validity check of my observations and conclusions, the journey of exploration into our creativity looked across the depth and breadth of human experience. I sought to assimilate any reported human experience that came to my attention. I looked to see how all the reported experiences fit together in an overall larger perspective of creation, and how creation appeared to work to allow for all the reported experiences. The picture was like a large tile mosaic where each individual reported experiences was a little piece of a tile that goes into this big mosaic of all the human experiences to create a coherent picture. You could look at it as different pieces of a big jigsaw puzzle that were being collected and pieced together so you could see the entire picture of the jigsaw puzzle was creating. It is not about denying anyone's reported experience. Rather, it's about how did any experience fit into the overall larger picture of all reported experiences. In looking at the depth and breadth of the reported human experiences, the information suggested there are individuals who come into this world with some incredible powers, gifts, abilities, or awarenesses. Then there are other individuals who come into this world and they develop abilities of incredible gifts, talents, and access and awareness, which some ascribe to the results of some particular focused practice where one's attention and awareness is directed in a particular way. Then there are some that just seem to stumble into obtaining certain abilities or a rapid change in their perception. For others, it's more like a seed is planted within them, and certain gifts or an awareness grows and unfolds over time, and there's a blossoming of the gifts or the awareness. What is clear from the journey of exploration into our creativity is we all have a life path. We all incarnated with certain powers and abilities, many of which lie dormant or in potentiality for what we came here to do. Some of these powers and abilities need to be developed, and some unfold naturally over time and in the correct environment. It is clear our mind does not clearly see, and because of mind's limitations, we will not see the whole picture as to how and why the events in life unfold the way they do. But as learned in the journey of exploration into our creativity, if we are willing to acknowledge our mind's limitations and look to our own perceptions, and are willing to step out of our mind's perceptions, we can see the bigger picture of creation and get some profound insights. The ultimate accident is one such doorway into these profound insights. The ultimate accident. When I first wrote about the ultimate accident, based on the observations from the journey of exploration into our creativity, I described it as finding and having an unplanned conscious experience of the source of one's being. That is, it is an experience that will secure the freedom of one's creative spirit, for our creative spirit is tied directly to the source of creation. The ultimate accident is based on accessing the depth and breadth of our creative power and creative ability. I found in the journey of exploration of our creativity comparison of the descriptions of the ultimate accident between individuals varied. Some described it as an enlightenment. Some experienced it as an experience of the oneness of creation in some way. Some may experience it as the recognition that they are consciousness at play with itself. What is reported was more of a spectrum of experiences. Some would say that it was a quick, if not almost instantaneous transformation of the proverbial, quote, twinkling of an eye, whereas others would say it was a slow, gradual process over time, more like the blossoming and flowering of a flower. Now, after years of looking at what is reported, I would have to say it's an experience that shatters one's perception of creation, such that one is out of mind and out of the understanding of mind to see reality quite differently, and the individual's life and perception is changed, if not transformed, into something totally different. However, mind does step back in and reconstructs the pieces in a way that fits how the mind now understands, and then mind believes its reconstruction. It creates a new story, and the individual goes and lives the new story. But often they forget what they really learned in the ultimate accident. One description of the ultimate accident is about finding and having a conscious experience of the true source of one's being, however one perceives that source. It is an experience that will secure the freedom of one's creative spirit to create a new life and allow the individual to create a new perspective of creation. Whether the individual retains one's ability to explore beyond their new perspective is another question. Many have a sense of arrival after their experience of the ultimate accident and go no further than to what they arrived. They consider they have found the truth with a capital T and the, quote, I am, and experience themselves as one with the source of creation and go no farther into the exploration of oneself and creation. From the creativity perspective, in essence, they have totally lost the ability to be in that childlike play of deeper discovery and exploration of oneself and the nature of the world in which they find themselves. From the creativity perspective, as a creator, in essence, they see themselves as having reached the end point of a journey which never ends. This experience of shattering one's perspective is referred to as, quote, an accident, because it is not something you can plan to have. It is something that happens unexpectedly. You can prepare the way, but the mind cannot get you there. Anything you think will not get you there and will not work, for it is an experience beyond mind. Most often it happens when you least expect it. You can set the intention to experience it and either consciously do what you think will get you there, or you can allow your intuition to take you there. But you cannot plan to have the experience with your mind. It happens. However, it is more like a probabilistic effect where you can increase the chance of having the experience, but is not something you can guarantee by following a logical path by doing A, then B, then C, etc. You can increase the probability of experiencing the ultimate accident by learning to step out of mind and surrendering to what is, as it is, and or enter the state of creative play. Creative play is a way of playing where you are not biased by the past and what you think. The ultimate accident is what can be described only as a spontaneous mystical experience where there is, or the potential for, the spontaneous recognition at the deepest levels of our being of who and what one truly is. That is, consciousness which arises from the awareness at play with itself and what it means for our life. It is the ultimate accident. You are in a state of being where there is only wonderment and awe of life. That is, all you can say that can express the experience is ah. And there is an accompanying profound awareness that is impossible to put into words. In many ways, it is to be described as an aha experience or a moment. It is the sudden realization, recognition, or comprehension of one's true nature or of creation itself. It will be experienced and described unique to the individual. Whether the person recognizes the experience for what it is depends upon whether or not the individual has the minimum set of experience to understand and recognize the experience. Here again, what you remember about the experience and how you use and benefit from the experience will be determined by your past and what you think and believe, which includes any expectations you may have about such an experience based upon what you have been told, learned, or read. It just needs to be remembered whatever one experiences becomes filtered by one's mind and all the past experiences of that mind. The challenge is to remain totally open to what the source of creation offers. Almost everyone has had or will have the ultimate accident in their life in some way, but few recognize it for what it is. It is available at every moment, but we are too preoccupied with life and our past to recognize the experience for what it is. There are other types and kinds of mystical experiences and/or spontaneous mystical experience one can have, but the ultimate accident is different. It is different in a very special way. The specialness shatters one's current perception. It provides an unparalleled free expression of one's creative spirit. The memory of the experience will secure the freedom of the creative spirit. That is, unless mind steps in and defines the experience in some way, limiting the experience to the boundaries by the definition mind gives the experience. It is here one can see the Greek myth of Persephone being captured by the god of the underworld. Our mind is the god of the underworld and captures the free expression of our creative spirit and what limits what is possible because of what mind has come to believe. The ultimate accident is not an experience of one's God or what they think God is. It is not an experience of tremendous bliss and joy, although some may interpret the experience in that way. Rather, it is the spontaneous awareness of the possibility of recognizing exactly who and what one is. That is, the creator of the experiences one has, all of them, for we are the consciousness which arises from awareness at play with itself, and our creativity and creations are the language that we use to express ourselves. The experience radically changes one's life in that their life becomes play as their mind allows them to play and they see the play of life. In this awareness, they can freely enter life in the most creative state of being with the spontaneous and innocent childlike play of discovery and exploration of creation. We forget a single human experience is only one of an infinite number of possible experiences of an infinitely vast creation. By play, we mean that one accesses an awareness that they are the stuff out of which creation manifesting what it desires. They understand they create what they experience by how and what they think and believe. They can see that they are the creator of the experiences they have. Some call this state enlightenment. Some call it transcending mind. It doesn't matter what you call it. What matters is what happens when you experience it and what you do with it. When we experience the ultimate accident, and if our mind properly characterizes the ultimate accident, we will be profoundly changed and our life breaks from the past. The experience gives us an awareness we are free. We are free of the past and we can create whatever we choose to create. We realize we are not bound by the past. We are bound only by choice. However, the instant we remember or realize I or I am, or in whatever form we realize our uniqueness, we will leave this state and localize our awareness into whatever our mind believes about what we have experienced and what we believe about creation. The question is whether or not what we believe allows us to accept that we are in fact the creator of the experiences we have. For most, because of what we think and believe, this is incomprehensible to our mind, for our mind has no way to understand it. This is too much to be believed. However, if we hold our creativity sacred and we stumble onto or into this awareness, no matter what form the awareness takes, when we come out of this state, we will remember that we are the creator of what we experience. We may even realize how we do it. Although the ultimate accident is a spontaneous event that we cannot make happen, we can open ourselves to the possibility of it happening. 2 suggestions can be made here is as follows. One is to set the intention to be open to such an experience, but understand why one seeks such an experience, for what we seek influences the experience. The second suggestion is to request to be gently led to the experience and any subsequent experiences we need to have to fully understand the experience we have. Tell the universe you are open and that you do not need to be hit on the side of the head with a club to awaken.